recognized by the Government of India in diabetes education and management. She is also obtained yoga instructor for diabetes management certificate by Vyasa. And to sum up, she's also the Southern Regional Coordinator for Indian Yoga Association, which is a self-regulatory body of leading yoga institutions of India. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. And I hope everyone will benefit from your session and telling us about how to sustain positive health. Thank you so much, Jiva.
Thank you, Anusha. It will be open for the session. I request Ms. Shubhavahini to take over. We are hoping for a great learning, ma'am. Thank you so much, and we welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Murthy sir, for welcoming me and for organizing this program. And also, I thank Ms. Anusha ma'am for briefing my profile. And I, of course, thank Jiva ma'am for coordinating and welcoming me as well. So as you all know, and we all know, the situation today is really like not only corporates, all of us give importance to health, right? We have questions related to health because the situation is like that.
So what we do is whatever we do is just for happiness. Whatever we do is just for happiness. But is that the situation? Are we all really happy? No, the result is really sadness. Like one or the other difficulty we have with respect to life. The result is always sadness. We are disappointed for something. We are really not happy for many things. There are a lot of pains, sorrows in life. That is what we are experiencing. So we will need to understand what is the cause of sadness in life. Why are we sad? Why are we not happy about our life? Why are we really not experiencing that sustainable happiness in life? What are the causes? If we look into it, there are three important factors. One is the disease in the physical body, the body level problem. When we have headache, of course, we will really not be able to concentrate on anything, right? If there is some problem in our physical body, of course, we will not be able to concentrate on anything and we will not be happy. And likewise, the stress in the mind as well. There will be, when we are stressed in the mind, we will not be able to live our life happily. Likewise, problems in life. If there is some critical issues going on between the social well-being, between the family or between friends or between something in the society, then we will not be happy at all. These three main reasons will actually cause to the sadness in life. So we will consider physical well-being and mental well-being for today's discussion. When we see about the physical well-being, there are two important factors. One is the communicable diseases and another one is non-communicable diseases. This is how we categorize both the disease, whatever that comes to our like the diseases that impacts our body, physical body level problems. So when we consider as communicable diseases like polio, cholera, all this, one point in time, it was on high peak. Actually, they were causing lot of deaths in the society. That was very, very risky during previous decades, not now. But what happened is WHO had actually come up with programs to bring in health, bring in physical well-being for everybody, health to everybody. In that concept, they worked on the communicable diseases, and they have really solved the communicable diseases. If we see now, we don't see much polio affected people, right? There will be a lot of children during that time, but now we really do not see much children with polio affected children. We have solutions for it. We have solutions for cholera, everything. But the highest problem is non-communicable diseases in the society. What happens to the non-communicable diseases? Non-communicable diseases are such as diabetes, hypertension, thyroid, all this cardiac issues, all these things are called as non-communicable diseases. These non-communicable diseases are purely called as psychosomatic diseases. Psychosomatic means it is related to mind and also the physiology of the body. That is why it is called psychosomatic ailments, and this is purely based on the lifestyle disorder. Okay, we are talking about like we said, we have actually got a solution for all the communicable diseases. Then why did this corona? Now we were very happy thinking we are out of all communicable diseases, but suddenly this coronavirus had just jumped into the world and made the entire world locked down. You know why we were locked down? One major thing is just because immunity. If immunity was there within us, if we were sure that we have enough immunity, for sure, coronavirus, of course, that's happening now. Okay, this coronavirus, whom does it affect much? This coronavirus has been danger for people who are already in the non-communicable disease, the long-term non-communicable disease. For example, like people who have the cardiac problem, they are actually affecting much with coronavirus. And likewise, diabetes, they are being threatened for when during this pandemic situations. That is why the communicable diseases impacts more on non-communicable diseases. So non-communicable diseases is purely based on the physiology of the body as well as the psychology of the body. So physiology and psychology, that is why it is called a psychosomatic disorder. We will need to work on both the things. I'll tell you why. As I'm the diabetes educator, I want to take diabetes. I feel comfortable taking diabetes as an example. Why are we scared of diabetes? There will be a number of people here, either yourself or your family members or your friends or your relatives, you will come across people who are with diabetes, right? 1 out of 5 is are actually facing with diabetes is the current situation today. So why are we scared of diabetes in today's generation? I mean, today's situation, if you see, diabetes is always associated with multiple complications. Like cardiovascular diseases are very common while we are actually diabetic. The kidney issues, foot amputation, eye problem, eyes will be blurred and vision impairments will be there, and also stroke, also nerve related issues. Lot of associated complications are always there with diabetes. That is why we are scared of diabetes. But I'm asking you one question. All of us would have got diagnosed with diabetes. We would have got diagnosed with diabetes. Like we would have had symptoms for diabetes. We would have gone to hospital. The doctors would have examined our blood sugar level and we are diagnosed with diabetes. What is the solution? They will give us one pill medication. They will just start with one basic pill medication. After some years, most of the people, they will not be with one pill medication. They will be with multiple pills medication. And to be very frank, after some more years, majorly most of the people, I'm not telling everybody, most of the people will get into insulin dependent. And some more, after some more years, more insulin dependent, even after taking medication for years and going through the cycle, we get into complications as well. Complications are like small wound, like I said, in the beginning I was telling you the story, a small wound kind of a thing, and that will really create a major impact to the whole like the complete health is gone. Just a wound will create complete disturbances in the health. That is how the complications are very severe with respect to diabetes. I'm asking this question, even though when we take these medications, why are we getting into complications? All of us will have this question, right? I would say, I would really understand, all of us will have these questions. People who are not able to maintain their blood sugar levels properly will get into these complications. That's it. Why are we not able to have our control our blood sugar levels? This is the example of diabetes, but please apply this to all your psychosomatic disorders or all your lifestyle disorders. Okay, now, and even if you can apply it not only for physical disease, your mental problem as well. Okay, now this is the HR platform. So I would like to bring in this kind of an approach over here. This is an iceberg. I don't need to tell about this iceberg to you all. I hope you all are expert in solving problems with iceberg. Now, only a small little portion is floating on the tip, right? That is 30% what we know about diabetes, or about whatever complications, whatever problems with respect to health that we are facing. And 70% are hidden, or I would say we ignore it. We ignore the major 70% that is just floating in, I mean, that is just sinked into the water. So with diabetes, this 30% is called as symptoms, and the 70% is called as cause. We are not in the habit of working for cause, and we are always asking for quick fix. That is the solution for the symptom directly. One example, we have sweat, we have tiredness, we have frequent urination, we have weight loss. All these are symptoms. All these are not problem. These are the symptoms for the problem. Okay. When we have these symptoms, what we do? Generally, we just go to doctor and do a blood examination, and we just diagnose whether we have blood sugar levels are normal or not normal. And of course, your blood sugar levels will be high during the diagnosis. Blood sugar levels are high. So now tell me whether blood sugar level high is the cause for the problem or the symptom. I would like all of you, whatever you're feeling, you can just type it in the chat. We will see what you're feeling. Whether blood sugar level being high is the cause for diabetes. Okay, I'm getting responses. Yes. Blood sugar level being high, most of them are saying yes, that is the cause for diabetes, right? Oh yes, most of them are saying yes. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, sir, that is wrong. Blood sugar level being high is also a symptom. It's not the cause. That is also the symptom. The cause why blood sugar level is high is what we will need to look into depth. That is what is missing here. Okay, now what I would like all of you to do is quickly, whatever you feel, what could be the reason, whatever you know. We are taking medication, but what majorly is the cause for your blood sugar level? Can anyone say? Lifestyle, Glucose excess due to carbs. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes. So we have to come to the conclusion for diabetes specifically, there are a lot of factors involved like age, heredity, obesity is also a reason. Physical activity is not there. That is also a reason. Our habits like smoking, alcohol habits, or something else as well. Our habits in our day-to-day life, our food is the major cause, our sleep, our stress. All these are the factors that is involved in diabetes, not just in diabetes, most of our psychosomatic disorders. This is called as lifestyle together. But therapeutically, what we call it as is fundamental restoration. Majorly, when we bring all these things together in a bucket, we call it as like food, lifestyle, and mind. Food is one of the important factors. And also food is one of the important reasons. Lifestyle is one of the important reasons. Mind is one of the important reason. All these three things, only if we work on all these three fundamental things, without this, just taking medication will not give solution to anything. Our mental well-being and physical well-being are totally connected. I'm just taking you through from physical well-being to mental well-being, and at the end we will understand how much mental well-being is actually important for our physical health. Okay, so food, lifestyle, and mind, these three things we will surely need to work on this before even getting into medication. Even if we are on medication, unless we work on this, we will not get solution for anything. Please have this in mind. Fundamental restoration is very, very important for anything, any health related issues that we undergo. That is why we said high blood sugar level is still the symptom, and insulin resistance. The cell is not accepting your glucose. Insulin is not getting bonded in the cell. And that is the reason your sugar levels are just staying in the blood. So blood sugar level is again the symptom, not the cause. Okay. So we have to work on that. We have seen food, lifestyle, and mind, right? So now what we are going to do is we are going to see about food. I'll just give you a quick glance. There are a lot of other, like I have my, I run a YouTube channel, and I'm giving a lot of information about food in that channel. You can just go through that as well. But very basic thing, what you must know about food, that fundamentals I'm going to tell you today. So first thing is, we will need to understand, when we say food is the main fuel to the body, right? We are nothing but what we eat. A banana we eat, apple we eat, that is just converting as our physical body. So food is very, very essential for a living being to live. The environment itself, God has created this entire world, or entire living atmosphere, the biosphere, by first creating food, and then according to the food only, they have created the living creatures. So food is very, very essential for any living creature to live on the world. Whatever we eat is what our body is. So if we eat filthy, our body will be filthy. If we eat healthy, our body will be healthy. There is one proverb, and that is the fact, and that is very, very important formula for us. Filthy matters do not grow in healthy soil. If our body is healthy, filthy things will not happen. Filthy things like diseases will not get into our body. That is why we will need to understand what we eat. So most of us do not know what we eat is right or wrong. So what we must understand is one simple formula again for food. Whatever we intake, it has to get digested properly. It has to get digested properly and gets converted to energy, and that energy should be metabolized. It has to absorbed by the cell and should not stagnate somewhere. It has to absorb by all the cells, and properly the toxic matters will need to just come out of the body. Toxins should get eliminated. So if these three processes works very well, then of course what will happen is our body will be healthy. Our body will be healthy. Our body will be of very good food. Okay, which food is healthy? Which food is healthy? Today, we don't know. Like, I have a lot of people asking this question. All the fruits, vegetables that we are getting also is with full of chemicals, fertilizers, preservatives. How can we trust the food? This is the major questions asked by everyone. But we have a simple formula that I'll tell you. I'll tell that formula. One simple formula related to food that will solve most of your problems. Do you want to know that formula? If you feel yes, you can type it yes in your chat box. One simple formula. You can type yes. Before getting into that simple formula, I will explain you something else, then I will get into it. Today, you know what? There are lot of all of us, you know, even me and my friends, like we just get into cosmetics products are becoming very popular today. Those cosmetics products are actually in the leading sales in the market today. You know why? We all just want to look bright, fair skin, clear skin, not even a single spot in our skin. That is how we all look like. I mean, we all expect us to be, right? We all enjoy that. Similarly, we all expect white, clean, neat, soft food. We don't want any kind of fiber in our rice. We polish it. We don't want any, even wheat flour has some little fiber content. We don't even want that. We get into maida. We refine the oil. So what we do, we want everything to be white. So we are reducing the fiber content. When fiber is not taken properly into our body, what happens is, of course, we will get into toxic contents, more toxic contents inside our body. Fiber is one of the things which will eliminate the waste. It will eliminate, but unfortunately, all of us are in the lifestyle. We do not have proper fiber content in our regular routine at all. Because we always wanted white stuffs. So whites are poisonous. Prefer taking unpolished rice, millets, etc. Please do not have. And also one more thing I wanted to tell you all, what today's research is saying is we are consuming more carbohydrate. We are just consuming only carbohydrate, nothing else. Yeah, when I listened, when I was reading this research, I also thought what I'm eating from morning to night. Morning for breakfast, idli, dosa, pongal, vada. Tell me yes if you are also having this kind of diet pattern. If no, you can say no, I have healthy diet pattern. Morning idli, dosa, vada, pongal, something else, chitranna, etc. Afternoon, I have rice, again rice, dal, sambar, etc. Evening, chapati, roti, etc. What are all these? Everything is carbohydrate. The total amount of carbohydrate that we want to consume in 70 years, we are consuming it in 40 years now. That much amount of carbohydrate, how will it, why are we consuming this much excess starch? Is one major reason behind it is we are polishing it. We are not having any fiber to it, and that is why when we have fiber, when we are taking unpolished rice, we will not consume more. We will have only little. That will be stomach filling. But when we have polished rice, we will have more. Likewise, maida. Likewise, everything. So that is one of the major reasons. Second thing is, today unpolished rices are available in the market. You can prefer that. Second major problem is in the lifestyle. What are we using to prepare food? Cooker. Especially especially in South India, they just take away the starch. They filter the starch, extra starch from the rice. That is how my grandmother cooked. That is how during the initial stages, my mother also cooked. I have seen. And using that starch, my mother had actually put starch to my dad's cloth. But in today's generation, you know what? We are not straining. We are not taking away the starch, and we are completely having that in the wholesome. That is one of the major reasons why we are having lot of excess carbohydrate and excess starch. When we have excess carbohydrate, excess starch, when it is not getting digested properly, of course, the starch will stay back in the blood. That is why blood sugar levels are high. And when blood sugar levels are high, you know what happens? I will tell you an example. We all cook rice and keep it, right? Like like your mother or wife is cooking food for you and keep it dining table for all of you to have it, eat it, but we are not eating it. So what we do, we can pour water to it. We will store it. Next day, we will have that palaya sadam. We fashionably call it as ice biryani. We will take it. That is good for health because it is fermented. But if we leave it for 2 more days, what will happen? Just imagine the starch. There will be smell in it, right? There will be a gas formation in it. The water will become thicker. All that will happen when the food is outside itself. If that food is like that, then when the food is inside our body, inside our blood, of course our blood will have a lot of toxic contents, right? When toxic content is more on the blood, the viscosity of blood is more, and there will be an additional pill given to you for thinning, blood thinners, thinning your blood. There are a lot of other reasons as well for blood viscosity to be high, not just this, but we will need to think all this. So we will need to take...
Here I have one small question, clarification.
Yeah.
See, normally, this fiber content, as you said, yes, mostly it is available in the, wheat and all. Definitely carbohydrate rice is not encouraging. But there is a saying, whatever it is available in your local market, or what you cultivate in the land, what it is available to you, that kind of foodstuff, it suits to you. That's a general assumption is going on among people.
That is not, yes, sir, that is not the assumption. That is right. That is right. I'm not encouraging wheat here. Rice is better than wheat for South Indians. For North Indians, of course, wheat is good for them. The local cultivation is the best food. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about unpolished rice.
Okay.
Not taking out, like how we are. I will come to another point. One more important point is there. I think all of you are still interested in knowing one formula, right? So this is the simple formula which I'm going to tell you now, because seasonal food, not only the cultural food, seasonal food is also very, very important. Now we get all food in all seasons. That is also a problem. But there will be some specific fruits, vegetables that will be available for the season. And that is the best one to consider and have it. Okay, and what this formula is whatever food you are taking. I'm talking from digestion, metabolism, and toxic, eliminating, detoxing the body. From that perspective, if I say, we will need to consider the whole amount of food, whatever we are having, into two categories. A simple formula, very, very simple formula. Please, all of you can understand this. We can consider two categories. One is more water content food. One is less water content food. Which food has less water content? Those are like all your grains, cereals, or everything. Rice, wheat, dal, everything is less water content. It will take much time for you to get digested. Okay, and more water content food is called as, like, what all will have more water content and easy to get digested? Those are your vegetables, fruits and vegetables. Okay, so what we are doing is, if we see our plates, we will take, generally lunch plate, we will take more rice on top of that dal. But in corner, one small portion, we will have vegetables. This is what is our general consumption of food. But instead of that, if you can take more vegetables, less food, or at least equal quantity during the day, that will really give you good, very good amount of fiber content, very good process, physiological digestive system will be very good. Toxic contents will not stagnate in the body. This is good for almost everything, all your problems. So this TTT is called, this terminology is in Kannada, Tatte Tumba Tarkari. In English, if I want to say, the plate full of vegetables. If the plate is full of vegetables, then of course, that is the best thing that we are giving to ourselves. And as Sir rightly said, it should be our vegetables. We don't need to go take broccoli or something else and get it. Of course, they will have a lot of preservatives. Just simple vegetable which is getting harvested in our area, and that seasonal vegetables, that will really help us. Every day we will need to take a lot of fruits and vegetables comparing to food that we are taking. Okay, at the end we will have a lot of questions. Whatever questions you have, you can ask me, but I just want to cover up a few more points, so I'm just going into the next topic. Physical exercises. I have one interesting question to all of you. One question is, do you think physical exercise is a medicine for a problem? If you feel yes, you can say yes. If you say no, you can say no. And the second question, if you say yes, you should say which exercise in this. I've written here jogging, gym, walking, yogasana. Which is the best exercise? Which is the best exercise according to you? Sir, I'll take up questions later. If you can just walking, yes. Walking
is one of the best exercise.
Huh, sir?
Walking.
Okay, walking. Mostly all of you are saying walking is the best exercise. Okay, walking is the best exercise according to you. Jogging, gym, walking, yogasana. What should I do? What should I do? Is walking really good? Walking is the best thing that we want to do. That we are going to see. Generally, in our body, what happens is we have some of the circulations in our body. Blood is circulating, right? Blood is not just sitting somewhere in our body. Blood is just going throughout the body in and down, up and down. And heat is also there in our body. If heat is not there, they will consider us not a human being, something else. And air is also one of the important factors. All these three things are just getting circulated in our body without any stoppage, without any blockage. But you know what? Today's lifestyle, we are just sitting like this, munching something and just working. Where is the physical activity? The sedentary lifestyle is giving activity only for our fingers. The fingers have proper physical movement, but not other parts of our body. That we will need to understand. That is very, very dangerous for us. So because of this sedentary lifestyle, you know what is happening? This blood circulation, heat circulation, air circulation is not circulating properly. Okay, one simple concept I wanted to make you understand here. Again, I'll take diabetes as an example. So you see water bottles here, right? You have water in it. Where is the water standing? End, right? It is at the bottom only. It is not flying on the top. The top portion is empty. The top portion of water bottle is empty. Why the water is down? Because Earth's gravitational force is pulling the water down. Likewise, just imagine if your blood is telling you, no, your body is saying gravitational force is pulling. So your blood will be only in the bottom of your body. Just imagine, are we alive? Like, can we live without blood getting circulated? It will not pass on to the head, right? If the blood is not getting circulated and just staying down. So against the gravitational force, there will be a pressure that body creates, the blood vessels create, that will push your blood towards upside. And the gravitational force will pull your blood down. And the pressure is pushing up, gravitational force is pulling down. Because of this, circulations happens in the body. Okay, but whenever these circulations are getting blocked somewhere, that is where disease, whatever it is, diseases in our body is because of our circulations getting blocked. Simple. This is the fundamental concept. In depth, if we go, we can consider everything. All the pathology can be connected to this concept. This is according to yoga, yogic philosophy. Just one example. We just run fast. I hit on the wall. I hit my hand on the wall. Immediately there is a pain. Why am I feeling that pain? Because blood circulation, heat circulation, air circulation is just getting blocked. That is why I'm feeling the pain. Likewise, you can see at the top, that blood vessel has something getting blocked in yellow color. That is the cholesterol. Okay, that blockage will create the blood flow, will create the blockage in the blood flow. Okay, whenever there is a blockage in these kind of circulations, that is what is the problem for the disease. And when we do any kind of exercises, just now all of you can sit and just you can all take your hands, join your hands together, take your hands above your head and just do this posture sitting in your place itself. Just give a stretch and see entire body, at least until your thoracic region, until your chest region, upper abdomen region, you will have movement, right? We will feel that movement. So this portion, this inner organs, then muscular system, skeletal system, these things, all of them are interrelated. When we give movements, accordingly, the pressure will vary. That is why either we can walk, there are some specific exercises that is designed specifically for particular this pressure to get, like for example, if we want to work on diabetes, we will need to work on the upper abdominal area. If we create pressure on the upper abdominal area, the solution for diabetes will be very easy. I'm just telling you the formula or secret to it. Likewise, there are therapeutically some specific exercises for some specific problems, but in general, whatever movement we give, that will create respective pressure or this movement, easy movement in that particular area. And that is why every day, either one of the, if you can jog, you can jog. If you can do exercises, you can do exercises. If you practice yoga, you can practice yoga. If you can go to gym and work, okay, yeah, you can even do that. But if you are not able to do anything, at least you can walk. If you walk, of course, it will be much benefit, as all of you had said, because when you walk, the pressure of, especially for diabetes, when I told you the blood pressure, all the blood are getting down. It is getting like, why there are a lot of issues for diabetics starting from foot? Because of this gravitational force, and because of that viscosity, blood viscosity being high, the blood is stagnating in the foot. And that is why healing is getting delayed in the foot. And a lot of other problems are also happening. And that is why when we do walking, of course, we will. Similarly, complications, if we see, when the blood viscosity is high, pressure is not sufficient, naturally the body will generate pressure, right? Only if body is generating pressure, then the blood will flow to our head. So that is why we are calling it as BP, blood pressure. We say, I got diabetes, now blood pressure is also come to me. But the concept is this: of course, blood pressure will come because of diabetes. It is not like complication. It is associated problems. So if we reduce diabetes, if we reduce our blood sugar levels, then it will happen. How do we reduce our blood sugar levels? We will need to take proper diet. We will need to take proper exercise. We can design it for you, or at least whatever we are saying it now, that basic things we will need to follow. And one more, from yogic perspective, breathing exercises are also very important, because especially in today's situation, lot of us have problem with proper ventilation because of this pandemic situation. So why breathing has become problem to us is, we don't have normal breathing at all. In today's generation, none of us, the normal work style people, like people who are working, unless and until they are practicing pranayama regularly, they are doing exercises regularly, they are unless and until, apart from them, none of us are having normal breathing. We are just having shallow breathing. Because of shallow breathing, in this, we can see these balloon kind of things, right? Those are the ones, they do the gaseous exchange. They take out the carbon dioxide out, and they pass on the oxygen inside to our body. This particular alveoli does the gaseous exchange, but the alveoli are also not functioning properly because of our shallow breathing. How will be able to take much oxygen inside? That is why we are not activating the whole lung at all. So it's very important that we will need to do pranayama. Some pranayama. I'll tell you what pranayama is. You don't need to think, okay, we will just need to do some complicated, very like too much practice and all should be there. Nothing like that. We will need to understand 3 things in breath. One is called Puraka. Second one is called Rechaka. Third one is called Kumbhaka. Puraka means inhalation. Rechaka means exhalation. Kumbhaka means retention. You will need to keep inside. Okay. Puraka, we know we are inhaling, and Rechaka, we know we are exhaling. We will need to do deep inhalation and we will need to do deep exhalation. To be very frank, yoga books like Hatha Yoga practitioners say that we will need to do like 1:4, 1:4:8, 2:4:8. Those kind of calculations. Two times inhalation, 4 times holding, 8 seconds of breathing it out. We don't need to do anything. If you properly inhale deep and exhale deep, you will naturally feel the Kumbhaka happening within yourself. During that Kumbhaka, physiologically, if you see, that gaseous exchange also will have properly. This is very, very important. Then you will need your breast, your chest, your lungs will expand, and like the multi-dimensional expansion of lungs will happen when you are doing this deep inhalation and deep exhalation. That itself will solve major of the problem. That itself will solve your prana, lot of intake of prana inside. Why am I talking about breathing here? All of us, when we say health, we all only talk about food and exercise, nothing else. But we must understand, we are not, if we ask who are you are not just the physical body. We have 5, it is called 5 shits, 5 koshas, pancha koshas, according to yogic principle. So physical body, pranic body, pranamaya kosha, mind, manomaya kosha, intellect, vijnanamaya kosha, blissful state, anandamaya kosha. All these 5 integrate, and this is your body. This is our body holistically. But we are just standing in our physical level only, Annamaya Kosha. Because we are used to it, we know only, we can feel only what we can touch and feel. What we can't touch and feel, we can't even think of it. But prana is also very, very important. If prana is not proper, your physical body will not function properly. For example, your prana should balance your heat and water. Okay, if your prana, that prana is very, very important to balance your heat and water. If heat is high, catabolism, the breaking down will be high. People whose body is heat, you will find out they will look lean. Then if water is high, that is also a problem to the body. All this majorly is controlled by prana. I mean, I'm just telling it at the higher level, but there are a lot of other things inside it. I'm not talking anything else. I'm just talking at the very higher level. So prana is also very, very important for us to do. What we will need to do for prana, at least for now, if you can approach us or somebody who is teaching you therapeutic yoga and all, they will teach you pranayama, but at least we will need to concentrate on our deep inhalation and deep exhalation whenever possible, if possible, every time. That is very, very important. Now I'm coming to the climax of the show, and which is very, very important for everybody to understand. Sorry, I'm taking up little more time, just 5 minutes, we will conclude the session, but this is very, very important. I'm bringing to you one important activity. All of us, as much as possible, responses I get in the chat box will be very helpful for me and for everybody else. Just imagine a situation, all of us are in some work and suddenly we get a call. It's an unexpected, shocking news. Something which we don't want to hear. We have heard that news for very closest relative of us. What will we feel? Our mind has got this information. What changes that we will see in our body? Shock is to our mind, but bodily changes what we will get. Panic is again to the mind, but I'm asking what changes that body will give in. More sweating, yes, more sweating we will get. Okay, yeah, palpitation we will have, heart beats will be very high during panic situations. What else? The mind is actually, the ears are hearing it. The mind, tension and upset is for the mind. The mind is getting into tension and upset. When the mind is getting into tension and upset, why body should give high heartbeat, sweat? We will need to understand the linkage between mind function and the physiology of the body. Overheat in the body, yes. Do you understand? So everything that comes into our mind will really impact on our physiology of the body. This is called physiological stress response. When there is a stress coming, our body will react, our physiology of the body will have these kind of symptoms. And we will need to understand this physiological stress response. This is during pandemic situation. You know what? This is what we are facing. You know what is this? You all can see an ambulance just got stuck with a heavy traffic, right? These traffic are like stress hormones, and this ambulance is like the immune hormone. This ambulance is just rushing to go and secure you from something which has come to attack you, a virus that has come to attack you. But this stress hormones will be blocked this immune hormone will be get blocked by all your stress hormones. I'm just giving this an understanding because it's not the actual thing, but this is how stress is affecting our physiology. So we will need to understand, however possible, we will need to work on our stress and we will need to reduce on it. One more important thing on mind is, whatever, mind is the root cause for everything. According to yogic philosophy, according to yogic therapeutic approach, diagnosis, the cause of physical ailment is all because of mind. It starts from mind. You know what? I'm just giving you, I hope all of you here like gulab jamun or any sweet that you like. I come and tell you, you should not touch it or you should not eat this. Will you all accept it and just say, okay, thank you, okay, I will not have it, and happily will you accept it? Of course, no. None of us will happily accept it. What will we say? Oh my God, I wanted to have it, but my mind is saying, I love it. I want to eat it. But my intellect is saying, from Vijnanamaya Kosha, it is saying, no, it is not good for your health. So there is a conflict between mind and our intellect. When there is a conflict between mind and intellect, whoever wins it, somebody should win, right? Either our intellect should win, otherwise our mind should win. If mind wins, intellect is like upset. And if mind is compromising, and saying no, but actually not happy, it will affect prana. It will affect disturbances in the prana. And that prana disturbance will actually create disturbance in the physiology of the physical body. This is one of the important factors we will all need to understand. Maybe, I don't know if I rushed it, but this is very important. All of us should understand everything starts from mind. Unless and until we work on mind, we can't work on anything else. Mind is very, very important for physical well-being. That is why in yogic languages, they call it as mental agitations are called as adi, and physical ailments are called as vyadi. And that comes through your prana. This is how it is. And just working on your blood sugar, working on your symptoms will not give you solutions. Of course, we will need to work on your symptoms, but parallelly, you will need to identify the cause and we will need to work on the cause as well. Along with medication, we will need to integrate good food habits, good lifestyle, and good mind habits, changing our mind habits. When we integrate both, only then we will be able to get solution for anything. However I can live, I can just go pay how much ever I want and get a very expensive medicine in the world for my disease. Will that solve your problem? Just imagine. There are a lot of cases. There are a lot of people. They have taught us lessons. Even if you spend so much, even if you have experts, yes, they are all experts. But first of all, the soil should be healthy, right? To accept all that. If that soil is not healthy, of course, whatever you put will not work on. The medicine we put will not work on. To bring that soil, to bring that kind of an environment in our physical body, we will need to work on our food, lifestyle, and mind, and then integrate it with medication that will solve most of our problems. Thank you so much. And I would like to highlight some of the services, what we are doing. Uyirmai Holistic Wellness Research Center is an organization. We work on the lifestyle modifications. We work on the holistic lifestyle. And in that, one part is health. And we are taking care of the health from basically, we are working on the fundamental restoration perspective. We have yoga and natural therapy. We have the stream of diabetes education. We have focus on nutrition and health education. We work on the youth empowerment. We work on women healthcare. And also we work on workspace wellness, that is specially corporate related programs. And when we say corporate programs, we focus on many aspects, and especially mainly on physical well-being and mental well-being. When we say mental well-being, they have to focus on their work-life balance and self-awareness and emotional immunity. Emotional immunity is one that is lacking with anyone and everyone in this today's generation. So positively bringing out of mental immunity is one of the key factors that we are working on. So we customize the program according to the corporate requirements. This is what we do. And we have a special program, challenging program for diabetes. Goal set to stop diabetes. You can set your goals to really stop diabetes and come out of it. It is just 6 days challenge program. If you really want to book it, if you want to attend, experience this and see, you can store my number 8300383045. You can just take a screenshot of this. You can have it. You can just give me one WhatsApp message asking for the information for this program. I'll share it with you. For sure, this program, you can share it to your dear ones as well, so that they will also get benefited. This program will have really a transformation from, especially for diabetes. Thank you so much. I'm open for questions.
Ma'am, I think it was one of the best sessions that the participants would have had. I don't know if they'll have any questions because of the way you have explained it in a very simple and easy way of understanding. We would like to thank you so much for this beautiful time that you have spent with us. Do the participants have any question? You can type it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand for your questions, please. If not, we'll go to the next part of it. You can also connect with ma'am for her sessions. I think the 6-day challenge is a very good way of understanding what diabetes is all about. So I really encourage participants to make a note of a number in this session so we can also share with our family members and friends. We have almost come to the end. Ma'am, thank you so much for
okay. If there is, like, if someone can share the feedback also, it will be helpful for us. And before that, I would also like to thank NHRD team, and a special thanks to CARE team, and especially to Mr. Krishnamurthy sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this platform, giving me such a platform to express my thoughts. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Dear participants, thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us. Now, may I request Mr. Palani Kumar, who's our Vice President of NHRD Hosur chapter, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. So, really, I think this is, the wonderful topic, sustaining positive health. I think just first, I would like to express my thanks to the NHRD Hosur chapter for organizing this session. And just I thank to Ms. Subhasini Sitaraman, founder, Uyirmai Holistic Wellness Research Hosur. Really, I think this last 1 hour, just I think just now, just we are starting to take care of our health. Really, just you talk about our this diabetes. Just you were explaining about what is the.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A sincere thanks to our CARE team who have been very supportive in streaming this on YouTube and giving us this platform to host this program. Krishnamurthy sir, we owe you for this program. Thank you so much for helping us. And we special mention to our facilitator, Mr. Shubhavahini. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was very nice having you, and we thoroughly enjoyed the session, and we have learned, and we are going to take back a lot of things back home. We also thank the NHRD team, the executive committee, who have been a great support. And I know, last but not the least, I thank the participants who have taken the time. They're spending their valuable time in attending this session for the last 1 hour. Thank you so much once again. It was very nice having all of you in the session. Thank you all.